Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me that well today because I pushed my phone just a little bit further than I usually do. And today I'm going to be talking about the books that I've read in the month of October. The month of October has been the longest month so far. It still doesn't want to end. It's still the 30th. It's still not over yet. It doesn't want to leave, doesn't want to go away. And I was going through the books that I've read by the beginning of the month, and it just felt like it's been so long already. It doesn't feel like the same month. A lot of things happened in this month, good and bad things. But I've had a lot of great reading month, not year. I've had a great reading month, so I'm not complaining about that. I think I have read almost 10 books, like around 10 books. I only have here 3 physical copies. The majority are ebooks. The first book I finished is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, which is a book that I have already filmed a reading vlog on it. It's a thriller of this professor who every year she decides to kill one person, and she narrows herself to only one person or like a few people, because if she kills multiple people then it's going to be suspicious, and she's going to be like, it's going to be a bit more difficult to kind of make it seem like a suicide or an accident. The first scene of this book, this guy who is super into fitness, he every single morning he goes running, and then after running he goes to the gym, and he has his pre-workout, I think, or energy drink that he makes himself. And she added rat poison and she watched him die, and that was our introduction to that character. I name her Scarlett. We also follow another character. Her name is Carly, and she is in her freshman year in university. She's a bit shy. She does not know what she wants to do in her life. She's kind of obsessed with this roommate of hers. After what her roommate went through, she became very angry at everyone, and rightfully so, because after seeing what her friend went through and after seeing the reaction that the people who are supposed to be protecting her gave her. I love the reveal, like the connection between Carly and Scarlett. I love that. I did not see it coming. I really just love this author's writing. The only thing that I did not like about this book is the romance that happened in the end, and I feel like the romance was super convenient, and it did not feel like the character didn't have any chemistry, in my opinion. So for that reason I ended up giving this book 4 stars, but I enjoyed it a lot, and it kind of helped me get out of my reading slump that I was in. The next book I also read in the same reading vlog is Poor Folk by Dostoevsky. I love Dostoevsky's writing. It's an bistro novel. We're following Makar Alexeyevich and Barbara something. They keep writing letters to each other. He's a copyist, and he's really struggling a lot financially. The same thing with her, she's struggling a lot financially, but then we see the conversations that they have. It's really makes you think. The thing that really stood out to me in this scene, when he made a mistake in his job. His work is something that he really values, and he thinks he's the best copyist out there, and for him to kind of make that mistake, which is so unusual for him, he just kind of felt a bit shameful. He felt embarrassed, and on top of that, a button from his coat fell off, and he was chasing it in complete silence in the room, and everyone was watching him. And when he managed to catch his button, he stood there, and he really felt like he wanted to just disappear at that moment. He didn't want to be present in front of anyone. He also really likes being hidden. He doesn't like drawing any attention to himself because of his financial reasons, because he thinks he's beneath everyone. And but after that whole situation, His Excellency gave him 100 rubles, and he gave him 100 rubles, and he told him, you can do whatever you want with this money. And Makar was like so shocked and so happy from this behavior from His Excellency, that he reached out his hand to shake his hand, and he was expecting that His Excellency would go into like pull out his hand or like act like he is disgusted from him, like doesn't want to touch him. But what His Excellency did, he shook his hand and he treated him like an equal, and that thing that really spoke to our main character more than any amount of money ever did. And he felt like at that point he owed it to himself and to his boss to be a better version of himself. When I was reading this, I used to say that this is a romance book because they keep calling each other lover and all of that, but then the end is just really heartbreaking, and it's just something that Dostoevsky always does. Whenever the book is really romantic, it never really ends in a good way, And but I did enjoy this book so much. I gave it 4 stars, and this is one, even though it's quite short, it's very beautiful. The writing in here is just so beautiful. Like the prose that Dostoevsky has is just amazing, and I wish I could read it in like the original language, the original language, instead of a translation. But unfortunately, I still am not very fluent in Russian. The next book I finished is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, which is the newest release of this author. This book is about sapphic vampires, and it has really morally gray characters, and we're seeing how those characters kind of start off as being like average women, and then they just keep going more corrupt and more corrupt as the time goes. You just see them becoming from human to monster. Just love the atmosphere. It's not really too plot focused, because it's mostly just about the characters and the atmosphere, which I really enjoyed. This really reminds me of The Invisible Life of Adi Lowry, because in terms of atmosphere, in terms of the writing, in terms of the kind of the storyline as well, I think it's really similar to it, and I really love that book as well. So I do love this one as well. I'm not sure if I gave it 4 or 5 stars though. I think I probably gave it 4 stars. I'm not really sure, but like I had such a great time reading this book, and I do recommend this book if you are interested in something about vampires, or something about, I don't know, something atmospheric, something dark, something with morally gray characters. The next book I finished is also a fantasy, and I finished One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. This is a YA fantasy about this girl who has this really kind of magical ability, but like this book has such a unique magic system that I've never seen in any book before. It's basically about cards. So there was this magic in a forest, and there's this shepherd king who took that magic and created cards to help humanity kind of achieve whatever they need to achieve. And when creating each card, he kind of took one thing from himself. For example, when he created the Nightmare card, he bargained his soul for that, and every card he bargained something for it. And but there's also this thing that whenever you use a card for one thing that you want to happen, you also kind of have this kind of the opposite thing of it happening. For example, if you use the Maiden card to be beautiful, you kind of become heartless and stuff like that. And I think that's a very unique and interesting magic system. And our main character has been affected by the magic system in the forest, which usually when someone gets affected from the magic in the forest, they get killed, because they think that that magic is not something that's not something that is regulated, something that is unnatural, because you're only supposed to use the magic from the cards, and everyone who is touched from the other magic, like the magic from the forest, is seen as a threat, and they immediately kill that person. But her family has hidden her when she got infected, and because she didn't really show any signs of magic, they thought that it was just a mistake or something, because she didn't have any signs of magic. But she does have magic, and every card she touches, she kind of gets that card inside of her. For example, she touched the Nightmare card, and now she has a nightmare in her head. He's talking to her all the time, but she's keeping it a secret. She's not really telling anyone about it. This is also has a bit of a subplot of a romance, which I usually like. I don't like the romances to be super to kind of outshine the other plots. The only thing that I did not like about this book though is that it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, and I don't know, I just don't like when books end on cliffhanger. I know that there's a second book which is already out, so I have really no reason to complain, because I can just pick it out right now and continue on. But I like books, even though when they're part of series, I like to kind of have a sort of a closure. But I will pick up the second book, and I did enjoy this book. I don't remember the rating I gave it, but I will put it on the screen. The next book I finished is The Fall Risk by Ivy Jimenez. When I picked this book up, I did not realize it's the second book, but it did not matter, because it's a companion book, so they're not really, you don't have to read the first one to understand the second one. Basically, we're following our main characters, who I forgot the names obviously, and they live in this apartment building, and they only the two people who live in there, and there's been a mistake, then they removed their stairs, and so they are stuck in there. They cannot get out, and it's also the weekend, so the workers cannot come back until Monday. So they are literally stuck in there. Our main female character is really struggling from this this stalker who does not want to leave her alone. So she kind of built this whole life built this whole life where she's hiding from him. She works remotely. She doesn't leave her house. She does all of these physical activities to kind of be physically prepared in case he attacks her or something. And we also have our main character who recently just went through a divorce, and he just finalized the divorce before that same day, and they are stuck. It's the weekend, they have nothing to do, so they decided to start talking to each other. And also because our female main character doesn't usually lower down her guard, because she's very careful from especially from guys, because she does not trust anyone at this point. But because they were stuck in there and they had no choice, she kind of opened up to him, and it was really, really beautiful story. And I loved the ending as well. I loved what George went through, because he deserved it. And it was a beautiful story. It was very short, but I did enjoy it as well. The characters really felt kind of real, even though this is 80 pages story or something. The characters were real. They had so many, I don't know, I just really loved it. I loved their friends as well. They also had their little own storyline. Even though it's such a short story, we still had time, and we still had the space for the other two characters. And I love this romance. I do love all Adi Jimenez romances. They are so beautiful as always. I also finished The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This book has been on my TBR last year, in October last year, and I did not get to it. But this year I decided to give it a chance. But the reason I didn't pick it up last year is because it didn't sound that appealing to me. There's this the premise that I've heard is that there's this apartment that goes back in time, and she's in a relationship with someone who lives in the past, and that really didn't sound appealing to me. But after reading it, it really deserves the hype that it has been getting on TikTok and on BookTube and everywhere, because it's really beautiful. It's not just a story about romance. It talks about grief. It talks about so many other things, and I loved how the characters weren't just focusing on the romance. As I said, they were focusing on their future, or their dreams, about their aspirations, what they want to do with their lives, what career path they want to take. Our main male character is really trying to be a chef, and because that's his dream. But also he has bonded over food with his grandpa for ever since he can remember. So that is something that he wanted to achieve for him, because he wanted him to be part of him, but at the same time he does not want to lose himself. And it's very beautiful. And I love how they were calling out each other when they were not acting right. I love that. And I love the communication between them. I love everything about this book. It's 5-star. It's a 6-star read. I did not expect to say I did not expect to say this, but I really love this book. The next book I finished is an arc that I got recently. This book comes out in 2026 March, and that's Aisha by Soraya Bouazawi. This was a disappointment because this was sold as a fantasy with female rage, this woman who attacks and kills colonizers and all of that, but none of that happened in this book. This book really suffered a lot from tell and not show. A lot of things that happened, we were just told that happened instead of actually seeing them happen. And another thing is that the writing kind of felt repetitive and clunky. And what else did I want to say about this book? The romance I did like that the romance was already established before the book started, but I did not see any chemistry between the two. The characters were two-dimensional. Nothing happened in this book. The pacing was so off. The only good thing about this book is the last 20 pages, excluding the prologue. The last 20 pages were the best thing in this book, but everything else, just nothing happened. We didn't see anything that we were sold in the premise or anything, because it just felt like we were lied to, because the premise that you sold to us didn't really happen in the book. We just saw, in the last bit, or we saw in the prologue, after everything happened, we saw this character who is talking about our main character, and she's saying that she was so strong and she helped her country and she defeated the colonizers. But meanwhile, we never actually saw that. Also, the magic system, I know it was supposed to be about jinn and all of that, but like it was not really done well, because the half of the book is just, it was not really explained. It wasn't really like, it kind of expected you to have like an idea of the magic system in your head when it was not actually explained. And I know we kind of have this like idea of like all of that kind of stuff, but like I want to see explained. I don't want to just see just one scene of like something that happened 20 years ago, and then that's the whole explanation of the thing that happened in the end. And I just did not like it. It was actually disappointing, because I really was hyping this book up before actually reading it. I was I was sharing it on my stories every single time I see it, because the cover is stunning, and I loved seeing those facial tattoos, and I loved seeing the gold foiling and all of that. But the story is really lacking. The next book I finished is a manga. It's Shiver by Junji Ito. This is a short story collection from him. I did actually like a lot of stories in here. My favorite was Shiver, which is the title. It's where, you know, these people kind of start getting holes in their body, and those holes kind of insects start getting into those holes, and I am afraid of insects, so that thing really made me uncomfortable. I also liked the oil one. It was really disgusting. Liked isn't really the good word, but like it made me feel disgust, or made me feel fear, or made me just uncomfortable. I also really enjoyed I think it's called the puppet one. That was strange. And the one with the balloons, well, actually I did enjoy a lot of them. Like the majority of them I have enjoyed, so that's why I give it 4 stars. And I'm really happy that I went back to Junji Ito, and I don't know why I stopped reading from him. It was not intentional though, but like I'm going to pick out more from him, because reading from him is just so much fun. You never know what to expect. You never know what goes into his mind. So another thing that I was going to say is that in this copy that I was reading, although it was an ebook, there was, after every single story, we had like an author's notes and explanation from him, like his inspiration. And I love seeing his inspiration, because I always wonder what's really going through his mind, because you cannot be normal and make up those kind of stories. And also we saw like his initial sketches and initial in sketches in like a, what's it called, in pencil, and the original Japanese. And I like seeing that. I like seeing how he thinks about his concepts and all of that. Another book that the books that I'm in the middle of, I haven't finished all of them. I'm in the middle of 3, and I'm going to explain why. The first book I'm still in the middle of, from last month, and I'm almost already halfway through, but like I still haven't finished it. And it's How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. I already talked about this one last month, and I said I'm hoping to finish it in the end of this month. I haven't. I have 1 day left in this month, and I'm not going to finish it. I know that for a fact. But I only picked it up once in this entire month, I think. And I only picked it up because I was in a train, and I was a bit too shy to really start reading my physical copy. So I just was reading it on my phone. So I read it for like 30 minutes. Yeah, I know I should make more of an effort to read it, finish it, because there are a lot of nonfiction books that I want to read, and I'm still stuck on this one. But I promise that next month I will have it on my wrap up. I promise. This is not just for you, but for me as well, because I need to finish that book. I only have half, so that's only 150 pages. It's really not that much, but I will finish it. I will finish it some other time. The other book that I am also reading is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I'm halfway through. I think I'm in page 266. I'm enjoying it right now. Not as much as I thought I would enjoy it. I enjoyed the beginning much more than I am enjoying it right now. Right now, after the murder, the murder of the random guy, and so far I am enjoying it, but not as much as I had that up in my mind. In the beginning I was really enjoying it because I was highlighting a lot of stuff, and my favorite scene so far is in Richard's first lesson with the professor, but now we're barely going to school, so I don't know where the story is going to go. I know there's going to be a second murder, and I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but so far I'm still going to continue on with it. I'm enjoying the journey. So far this seems like it's going to be a 4 stars, which is not a bad rating, but like I still have a lot to get through, so I can't really give you an opinion right now. The other book that I'm also in the middle of, like I just only started it last night, is Out of Love by Hazel Hayes. I started it last night because I was too lazy to get up from bed and go pick this one up, so I started it on my phone. I could have read the nonfiction, but I was kind of sick, so I didn't have that mental capacity. I just wanted something that has romance but not a romance, and this one is sold from, like, it starts from the breakup and it keeps going until their first conversation, I think. So it has romance, but like it's the opposite of that, and that's what I was really craving. That's what I wanted. I don't really have any opinion on it, but now I'm in the middle of 3 books, which is not good because I don't really like having too many books that I'm currently reading. So we need to finish some books. So this month I ended up finishing 9 books. I'm in the middle of 3, so I think that's a really good number. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and as always I will see you in another video very soon. Goodbye.